Hey guys, this is Owen with Seek Outside, and today I want to show you how to set up the Silvertip 2.0. Let's get into it. So the Silvertip 2.0 sets up either with the trekking pole or our carbon fiber trekking pole that you can buy individually. It has a minimum of 6 stakes to set up. So by pulling the shelter out of the bag, with the shelter pulled out, you're going to find that there is this yellow cordage around the whole tent. These are going to be your adjustable stake points. These work based off of a line lock, so that is a tensioning system so you can raise and lower the shelter. For setting up the Silvertip 2.0, you want to go ahead and find your zipper and then find the first seam to the left or right of that. So there will be a stake point in between, but here is your first seam with the stitching here. And then 2 seams from there, you will also find another seam. This is going to help create our rectangle, which we're going to use to set up. This is going to be the direction that you're going to sleep in the shelter. So pitch it the way you want. In this case, there's a slight uphill and a slight downhill, so I'm going to pitch where my feet are going to go, down this way. So stake your first stake. That first stake should be the first seam to the left or the right of the zippered door. Then go ahead, there's another seam, skip that one and come over to your next one. Now you're going to pull this tight and just go ahead and drive your stake into the ground. And as always, the best way to put your stake in is going to be at a 45-degree angle. This keeps your stake loop low, and that also helps keep the shelter down closer to the ground. Now that you have your first 2 stakes installed in the shelter, it's time to find your zipper door once again. From here, we're going to do the exact opposite thing and find the seam on either the other left or right side. We're going to take this, I'm going to pull it out diagonally to the stake across. Now this is when we're going to use what we call the setback method. So the setback allows us to get the pole inside. So I'm going to pull this tightly. As you can see, I'm not trying to pull it super tight. And then I want to set this back where I'm going to stake about 4 to 5 inches, which is going to be roughly about here. So I'm going to place my stake there, and then I'm going to move on to the next stake point. Now for our 4th stake, we want to go from the stake we just put in, so the 3rd stake, follow that, skip a seam onto our 3rd seam. Now you want to pull this tight and set it back that 4 to 5 inches, which is going to align parallel to the other side as well as this other stake. We're going to just go ahead and drive that stake into the ground, and now we're ready for the next step. Now that the first 4 stakes are in the shelter, it should look like a longer rectangle. The next step is to either take your trekking pole, or optional from us is our carbon trekking pole, very lightweight. Take one of these and we're going to insert it into the shelter. Set your pole to roughly 135 centimeters. We're going to start there, and if we need more length, we're going to extend it. Go ahead and open your zipper door here on your Silvertip and find the cone. It's going to be this black piece up at the top. It's very reinforced. Now go ahead and take your trekking pole and insert it inside and put your trekking pole to the center of the shelter. From here, go ahead and close the zipper door so we can get the rest of the stake points put out. As of right now, you should only have 2 stakes left for minimal staking. The first stake is going to go to the door. We want to have this door all zippered up, and we're just going to grab it here, pull it out nice and tight, and just go ahead and drive our stake in. Now come around to the back, which is going to be opposite of your zippered door, and go ahead, take your stake loop, insert your stake, and pull this tight, and just drive your stake in. Now if you have any sagging or anything in your shelter, there's a chance that your pole height might be wrong, or you just need to tighten some of your adjusters. So you can just tighten some of these line locks to pull some tension into the panels, or in our case, we're in pretty soft ground and our trekking pole has sunk into the ground a little bit. We can just simply pull this out and give ourselves just a little bit more length, like so, and that is going to keep these panels a little bit more tight. Now that our Silvertip 2.0 is all set up, I want to show you some of the additional features you can use while you're out in the woods. Located around the shelter are 6 additional stake points. These are going to be used if you want to get a little bit more room out of the shelter, as well as if you have extreme storm conditions. So as you can see here on this door, we have an additional stake point. You can pull this out, stake it down to just increase the rigidity of the shelter, as well as add a little bit of shape. If you're looking for a little bit more additional room or storm coverage, there is also an additional stake point in between these seams that we initially set up. You can pull that out, and that'll give you a little bit extra space. Featured around the Silvertip are these line lock stakeout points. These allow you to raise and lower your shelter to help increase or decrease airflow. So to simply do that, you're just going to tighten up your line lock here, which brings it closer to the ground. And when you drive that stake in at a 45-degree angle, it's going to get you a lot closer to the ground. You can also shorten your pole and do this to all stakeout points. If you want to raise your shelter for more airflow in either warmer months or high condensation areas, simply just elongate your line lock cordage and then stake it out and then raise the pole. The Silvertip features 9 guy out points, which is a lot for a shelter this size. And the reason for that is it increases headroom while you're sleeping in the shelter, it decreases sag in wet condensated mornings, and it increases storm worthiness by 10-fold. Simply attach a 5 to 6 foot long piece of cordage to your desired area. In this case, I'm going to put it here on this side, but you can use it on your windward side or wherever the shelter is getting beat up by storms. Go ahead and take this, pull it out, and you can really pull on these to get some extra room. Pull it out, stake it out, and you're done. One of the other features I want to talk to you about on the Silvertip is the door tieback system. So simply just release your zipper door here on one side. What you want to do is go ahead and just roll your door up like so. And down here, you're going to find that there is a toggle. This toggle simply wraps around the fabric and threads through this hole here. And then your door is tied back. The Silvertip also has the option to come without a stove jack and with a stove jack. The stove jack allows you to run a stove here in your shelter. Lastly, the Silvertip offers some accessories which can be found at seekoutside.com. These accessories can help improve your backcountry experience depending on what conditions you are in. Thank you guys for watching how to set up the Silvertip 2.0. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and drop them down in the comments. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more info and more awesome tents, backpacks, and wood stoves. You guys have a great day.